In this video, we are going to be adding, subtracting, and multiplying decimals. Let's get started. All right, so our main concepts today are going to be working with decimals, and we're going to be adding, subtracting, and multiplying. We're first going to start with addition and subtraction, and I like to think about this as kind of like working with money, where we want to make sure that our dollars and our change all add up together. So as we can see here, we have $50.90 and 26 cents. Those decimal points make a nice line, just as well in our subtraction examples. The decimal points make the line, not we don't line up to the right, we line up the decimal points. So let's take a look at what that looks like. All right, so I have here, Kim and Martin swam 50 meters. Martin took 0.2 seconds of a second longer than Kim. What was Martin's time? So as we can see here, Kim's time was 50.9 seconds. So we're starting at Kim's time. If Martin's time was 0.26 seconds longer, that means we're going to be adding something. We're going to be adding 0.26 seconds. I'm going to put my decimal point right below the other one, my nice line. And then that is also where it's going to go in our sum. So we're going to be adding 0.26. Now you may be saying, Miss Livingstone, why is there a blank space above the 6? That is because when we line them up, there is no hundredths place in the 50 and 9/10. So we're just going to make one. We're going to make an invisible 0. And now we're just going to add like normal. 0 and 6 is 6. 9 and 2 is 11. So 1 stays, and then we carry the other. 1 and 0 is 1. 5 and nothing is also 5. So we have here, Martin would have taken 51 and 1600ths of a second. All right, let's look at our next problem. Amy ran a race in 20.7 seconds. Katie finished the race in 258 thousandths seconds before Amy. How long did it take Katie to run the race? So we're starting at Amy's time, which is 20 and 7/10 seconds. And we know that we are doing something with the 258 thousandths. So here I'm actually going to need to make 2 invisible zeros. And I want you guys to think about this. If Katie finished before Amy, that means her time was less. Her time was less if she finished before. So we're going to be subtracting. We can't do 0 minus 8, and there's nothing to borrow, so we're going to have to do a double borrow. Again, this is something that a skill we should already have. I'm going to make that 7 a 6. Our first invisible 0 becomes a 10, but then I need to make it a 9. And now our last invisible 0 becomes a 10. 10 minus 8 is 2. 9 minus 5 is 4. 6 minus 2 is also 4. Decimal point goes straight down since it's in a nice line. I don't know why I made that so big, but that's okay. And then 0 minus 0 is just 0. 2 minus 0 is 2. So Katie finished the race in 20 and 442 thousandths of a second. All right, let's keep going. So that is addition and subtraction. All right, now let's look at another problem. Diego and his brother packed suitcases for a trip. Diego's suitcase weighs 45 and 64 pounds. His brother weighs 58 pounds. What is the combined weight of the suitcases? So since we are combining the weights, we're going to be adding them together. We want to know the total weight. So the combined weight is the total. So we're going to be adding 45 and 64 to 50. Now I know what you're thinking, Miss Livingstone, there is not a decimal point after the 58. We're going to make one. There is an invisible decimal point after every single whole number. 58 and 58.00 are the same thing. Think about it like money. All right, our decimal points are in a nice line. I'm going to make mine for the sum. 4 and 0 is 4. 6 and 0 is 6. 5 and 8 is 13. 1 and 4 is 5, plus 5 is 10. So the combined weight of the suitcases is 103 and 64 hundredths. All right, let's look at multiplication now. What is the area of the map? Use the formula area equals length times width to find the area. We have a rectangle map here. Our length and width are 3 and 25 hundredths and 2 and 5 tenths. Notice here, I did not line up the decimal points because we do not do that when we are multiplying. We worry about it after. All right, now we're just going to multiply like normal. 5 times 5 is 25. The 5 goes down, the 2 goes up. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 1 is 16. Now remember, when we start a new row of multiplication, we need that invisible 0. All right, 2 times 5 is 10. 0 goes down, 1 goes up. I'm going to cross off that 2 because we already used it. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. 2 times 3 is 6. Again, that 1 was already used in the last one. That's why we didn't add it in. That was from the first row. And now we add our products together. 5 and 0 is 5. 2 and 0 is 2. 6 and 5 is 11. 1 and 1 is 2, plus 6 is 8. Now you're asking, but miss, where do we put the decimal point? We count the number of spaces after the decimals in both of our factors. In our first factor, 3 and 25 hundredths, there are 2 spaces after the decimal point. In our second factor, 2 and 5 tenths, there is 1 space after the decimal point. So that means we're going to go a total of 3 places because we had 2 after the first number and 1 after the second number. Start at the end, scoot 1, 2, 3 times. We have 8 and 125 thousandths is our product. All right, let's do one more example of multiplication. What is the area of this antique map? Again, area is always length times width. We have 4 and 16 hundredths. Notice how I'm putting the number with more digits on top. You always want to put the number with more digits on top. All right, now we're going to multiply like normal. We're going to ignore the decimals for now. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 goes down, 1 goes up. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. 2 times 4 is 8. Bring down our invisible 0. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 goes down, 1 goes up. Crossed out the other one, we already used it. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. And 2 times 4 is 8. Add them together. 8 and 3 is 11. 1 plus 8 is 9. All right, so same thing here. We're actually going 3 places again because we have 2 places in the first number, 1 place in the second number, so we scoop 3 times. 2 places in the first number, 1 place in the second number means we scoot 3 times. So our final product is 9 and 152 thousandths. And we are going to stop here. We will go over some of this together. So if you are confused, just ask your questions when we go over it together. And we will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.